Hello dear students, this is Hasina Islam, lecturer, Department of English, Tongi Government College. This lecture is for the students of Honours second year. I think you all are fine. Today I will start my lecture with John Keats. John Keats is a romantic poet, we know, and I am assigned to deliver my lecture on John Keats. So first of all, I'm going to give you information on John Keats about that is uh, John Keats, and then we will try to focus on some important things that of course those should be discussed before starting John Keats. Okay, so we know John Keats was an English romantic poet, and he was one of the main figures of the second generation of romantic poets. Okay, second generation, along with Lord Byron and Shelley. They were also in second generation of romantic poets. So, despite his works having been in publication for only 4 years before his death from tuberculosis, we know that is um, his works having been in publication for only 4 years before his death from tuberculosis, and at the age of 25, that is he died at the age of 25, and he was very young, and he is marked by vivid imagery, great sensuous appeal, and an attempt to express a philosophy through classical legend. So these are the characteristics of John Keats' poetry. He was highly imaginative. Okay, so in that is we know John Keats is remarked for his high imagination and sensuousness and Hellenism. These romantic features are important in uh, John Keats' poetry. Okay, so before starting his poems, we will discuss some important topic things that those are very important, and those are associated with John Keats' poetry. Okay, so we know John Keats is a romantic poet, and John Keats is called the most romantic of all romantics. Okay, he is called the most romantic of all romantics. He is also called a pure poet. Why? Because Keats' poetry contains no moral, political, or social comment. His poetry is for its own sake. He is concerned only with reality and truth. Therefore, he is called a pure poet. Okay. So another important thing, that is Hellenism. Hellenism is, a term. Of course, you have to know before reading John Keats' poetry. So what is Hellenism? Hellenism refers generally to Greek culture. Okay, that is this word comes from Hellen, Hellen of Greek. That is, Hellenism refers generally to Greek culture. The term Hellenism is used for civilization, language, art, and literature, which is essentially Greek in spirit. And we know from John Keats, in John Keats' poetry, we'll find his this term Hellenism, or his love for Greek culture. This is Hellenism. Then sensuousness, and by sensuousness we mean the gratification of five senses. Five senses. The five senses are the sense of sight, hearing, touch, smell, and taste. Okay, so this is sensuousness. Another important thing, that is negative capability. This is also important for Keats' poetry. What is negative capability? Negative capability refers to the poet's ability of keeping himself aloof from his writings. That is, it prevents him from expressing personal feelings and emotions in his poetry. It is also known as objectivity or impersonality. That is, John Keats is famous for his negative capability because he tried to keep himself aloof or from that is he did not give any personal thought or personal his personal opinion in his poetry. That's why this is he is known for his negative capability. Okay, then another important term, escapism. Actually, John Keats is known as an escapist. So, what is escapism? Escapism refers to the tendency of living in the world of imagination, avoiding the hard realities of life. That is, we know John Keats was an escapist because he always tries to live in his imagination. Okay, and he tries to avoid hard realities of life. That's why he is called an escapist. Okay, and John Keats is also called the poet of beauty. Okay, he is called the poet of beauty. Okay, then another important term you have to know, that is ode. What is ode? Because we are going to we are going to read John Keats' odes. Okay, that's why we have to know the definition of ode. Ode, that is, it is an excited lyric that begins with an address. Short lyric, it begins with an address to someone expressing grief or agony, but ends with consolation. Though it begins with grief or agony, but it ends with consolation. It gives some consolation, and of course it is opens with an address. Okay, so it deals with a serious theme. Of course the theme is very serious. Okay, so these are the important terms I have discussed in my lecture, and I think these terms will be very helpful for you. And while we'll start reading Keats poems, of course you will you know you will find these charms in his poems. So in my next lecture I will try to start Keats poem, and I will try to start with ode on melancholy, and I think you will try to read this poem, and in my next lecture I will try to give you the summary analysis and all the important information regarding this poem. Until then, everyone be safe and Allah Hafiz.